Joshua, a young man with a kind heart, lived in a quiet village nestled amidst rolling hills. He was known for his willingness to help, always ready with a smile and a helping hand. Yet beneath his cheerful exterior, Joshua carried a heavy burden. Mistakes from his past haunted him, whispers of regret echoing in his heart.
I long for peace, but feel unworthy of God's love. My spirit weighed down by the shackles of guilt. I yearn for freedom, but don't know where to find it.
Days turned into nights as Joshua grappled with his inner turmoil. He sought solace in his work, losing himself in the rhythm of daily life. But even in the company of others, a part of him remained isolated, trapped in a prison of his own making. The joy he exuded seemed to mask a profound sadness, a longing for something more. Joshua believed in God's love, yet he struggled to reconcile it with his own imperfections. He strived to be good, to do everything right, hoping to earn God's favor. His every action was weighed down by the fear of failure, the dread of repeating past mistakes. The harder he tried, the more elusive peace seemed to become, like a distant star shimmering beyond his reach.
One evening, as the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the village, I found myself drawn to the outskirts, seeking solace in the tranquility of nature. As I walked, a profound sense of loneliness washed over me, amplifying the weight of my unworthiness. I sank down beneath an old oak tree, its gnarled branches seeming to echo the turmoil within me. Tears welled up, blurring my vision as I whispered a silent plea for guidance.
Suddenly, a gentle voice interrupted his thoughts. An elderly man, his face etched with the wisdom of years, stood before him. His eyes, though clouded with age, held a spark of kindness that instantly put Joshua at ease. The old man, sensing Joshua's despair, sat beside him and spoke softly.
My son, you seem troubled. What weighs so heavily on your heart?
Hesitantly at first, Joshua poured out his soul, confessing his past mistakes and the overwhelming guilt that consumed him. The old man listened patiently, his gaze filled with compassion.
My dear boy, you are not alone in your struggles. The scriptures tell us, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Romans 3:23.
The old man's words struck a chord deep within Joshua's soul. He had always believed that God's love was something to be earned, a prize reserved for the righteous. But the old man's words painted a different picture, a picture of a love that was unconditional, freely given and available to all, regardless of their past. Joshua, could it be that simple? Could God's love truly be a gift, not something I have to earn? Elderly man, for it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. Joshua listened intently, his heart beginning to stir with a flicker of hope. The old man's words echoed in his ears, carrying with them the weight of truth. As Joshua pondered the old man's words, a wave of emotion washed over him. Relief, like a cool breeze, swept away the oppressive heat of guilt and shame. For the first time, he understood the true meaning of grace. It wasn't about being perfect, but about accepting God's love despite his imperfections. Joshua, tears streamed down my face, this time not tears of despair, but tears of gratitude and release. A new sense of peace settled over Joshua. The weight that had burdened him for so long seemed to lift, replaced by an overwhelming feeling of lightness and freedom. He realized that true freedom came not from striving for perfection, but from surrendering to God's love and grace. From that day forward, Joshua was a changed man. The guilt that had haunted him was replaced by a deep sense of gratitude for God's unfailing love. He embraced his imperfections, understanding that they were part of his story, but did not define him. He continued to live a life of kindness, but now it flowed from a place of genuine joy and freedom. Joshua people were drawn to the peace that radiated from me. I shared my story openly and honestly, offering the same message of grace that had set me free. Neighbor Joshua, you seem different, more at peace. What changed? Joshua, I realized that we are worthy of God's love, not because of our achievements, but because of his boundless grace. Joshua's transformation didn't go unnoticed. He became a beacon of hope in his village, reminding everyone he met that they too were worthy of God's love, not because of their achievements, but because of his boundless grace.